ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Bald Explorer live on a bank holiday Monday here from the UK. Oh yes, down at the edge of the English Channel at the foot of the South Downs. This is the Bald Explorer live. Have you been out in the sunshine? Have you been enjoying yourself? Have you been extremely hot? Have you? I just want to know, have you? If you could answer the question, that would be fantastic. Yes, it is a beautiful bank holiday here in sunny Worthing. I hope that wherever you are, in whatever part of the world, that you've got the weather you want. It may be that it's too hot for you, and you'd rather it was cold. And I can't help that, ladies and gentlemen. I can't help the temperatures, but it's so nice. We've had some fantastic weather the last 3 days. I don't know when we had such a marvellous bank holiday as this. Usually it's sunny and lovely the days just before the bank holiday starts, and then, oh my, when the bank holiday comes, hello, it's ghost, hello, dark clouds, oh no, don't like those dark clouds. Rain, thunder, lightning, blizzards. Well, maybe not thunder, lightning and blizzards, but usually we kind of get that horrible little tepid. But this start of the month of May, may I say to you, it's fantastic weather that we have had, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And yes, the old Bald Explorer show is back, and it's lovely to be back, let me tell you that, for a kick-off. So nice. We've got Simon Brown out there, we've got Jennifer Stewart out there, Andy Ash, Cynthia Walder, Matthew Holdsworth, Paul Hine, Pam Earnshaw, Jeff Stevens, Alan Piddington, and so on, and more are coming along to the old Bald Explorer. And I should tell you, on the 7th of May 2018, as of 8 o'clock this evening, 631 lovely people have joined the Bald Explorer Facebook group. And thank you very much to that. Give yourselves a big round of applause. It's lovely to have you on board. So that's absolutely fantastic. 631. Towards the end of May, it would be great if we can get up to maybe 700. That would be good. The aim is to get to 1,000 fairly soon, as quick as we can, but I can't guarantee when that's going to be. But if we can get to 700 by the end of the month, that will be superb. It will show that people are interested. It will show that everything we do is worthwhile, which is very nice. And we hope that we've got some exciting things lined up for you in this month for you to watch and enjoy. But, ladies and gentlemen, let me say a big thank you to Sharon and Simon Brown at the wonderful establishment, which is my St. Neots special HQ for up on the Never Eat Shredded Wheat on the east side of the country. If ever I need to go into Cambridgeshire ever again, they've said, could you keep going and find somewhere else? We will be busy. No. Lovely people. So Simon and Sharon, thank you so much. It was fantastic. And to be honest, yeah, I think I speak from the heart of everybody in the Bald Explorer family, this lovely family that we've started, that everybody enjoyed those shows. They said that Sharon was an absolute joy to watch and Simon was impossible to watch. What? No, what am I saying? I'm digging great big holes. Julia, the key to the JCB. I'm always digging holes. Andy Piddington said he went to Sandwich in the 1940s event yesterday. Great day out. Hope you're coming to Tilford Rural Life Centre 1940s event next weekend, Richard. Oh, I'll have to have a look. Email me, Alan. Email me the info, because I'm not quite sure where I am next weekend, so that would be fascinating. Maybe it is. I don't know quite where it is. Jane Ainsley has arrived. She says, hi, everyone. Sharon is waving. Hello, Sharon. Lovely to see you. Andy Ash is talking. John Barnard. Hello, John Barnard. Lovely to see you. Nikki Jess. Jamie Cave. Jamie Cave, I think, is the guy who's asked me, if I remember rightly, to get a signed photograph. Am I right? You're the one who wants a signed photograph of the Vobes one-eyed Kenobi. Which side would you like? This side or the side where I can see Nout? Absolutely nout. The lovely Julia is out there. Hans Richard, the digger ignition key. Thank you very much. I'm very good at digging. Actually, I should just say that the lovely Julia, poor lovely Julia, the lovely Chaz, and the even more lovely Elijah, little Elijah. Hello to you. I don't know if little Elijah is watching, but they've been stuck in traffic earlier today. They were giving me a blow-by-blow account of every little incremental movement. But Julia and Chaz, they drive in one of those hybrid cars. You know, it's half car, half aeroplane. And they would have taken off and zipped over all the way south because they've been up in Birmingham, see? I'm just trying to think. Birmingham. Oh, hello there. No, I can't do a Birmingham accent. Hang on. I have to think of a radio play. Mr. Zero. Hey, Mr. Zero. Are you coming out, Mr. Zero? No, I'm not coming out today. Something like that. I'm not very good at the Birmingham accent. Oh, that's not too bad. That's a terrible accent. You shouldn't really try it. I'm not trying it anymore. Well, don't try it ever again. You, silly man. I'm not a silly man, actually. I'm a very sensible man. You're not very sensible round here, are you? Yes, I am, actually. Or I'll smack your face in. Don't you smack my face in. Well, don't you smack mine. I'm not going to smack yours if you don't smack mine. Will you just stop talking and address the lovely viewers? All right, then. I suppose I will. Yeah? Oh, you're still here. Marvellous. Sorry, I just went into a moment of absolute, complete and utter confusion there. Yes, so what was I going to say? Something about little Elijah. Stuck in traffic, and I can't remember now, but anyway, there we go. Oh, because they've got this hybrid car. Yes, that's right. Half plane and half car, but it can't actually take off because there's no runway, you see. That's the problem. They couldn't get onto the hard shoulder, couldn't make their way down. So as far as I understand, they've parked up in one of these service stations and they're watching the show live, which is fantastic. So do say hello to them and give them all your love and support. And if you happen to be another of these people who are driving on the M40 as they're heading home, could you get off the road and give them some space? That would be absolutely lovely. Good stuff. So I had a fantastic time up there in the wonderful world of the wonderful world of Simon and Sharon. My phone's supposed to be on. I put my phone on silent. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I put my phone on silent. I shall just quickly bung it back on silent. What's the matter with me? Oh, yes, I did. Just for a moment, I watched a small little bit of YouTube whilst I was waiting to come on air, which is very, very silly of me. Anyway, I had a lovely time with Simon and Sharon. We went to Ely, we went to the RSPCB, we told you about that last week. We went to Wimpole Hall, which was very nice. And then on the last day I was up there, Saturday, the last day, we went to somewhere called, I think if I remember rightly, it was Barton Lee Clay, L-E Clay, and it was up on the Chiltern Hills. It was absolutely delightful. We had a lovely day, and even little Lenny came with us. Hello, I'm Lenny from Ely. Another strange character coming out the corner of my mouth. I do apologise for that. LOL, Richard, there's a part for you in Crossroads, says Malcolm Glacier. Yes, there we go. Down, 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 down. Rum, bum, 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 bum. Hey, Meg Mortimer, why don't you let me have a room in this lovely motel? Well, I'm not going to, thank you. Well, I think you should. It's a nice hotel, and I want one of them rooms that looks over the motorway. I like looking at the motorway. I like to peer out of the window and go, oh, look at you poor people stuck in the traffic trying to get home when I've got a nice plush room here at Crossroads Motel in the Midlands. It's lovely. I do like it. Yeah. Anyway, goodbye. Sorry about that. Just a slight... The brain's been boiling today in the Mayday heat. It's a bit strange. I'd like to say a hello to Mark with a Q, who's been watching. Probably put me on his big television again. He's got his fantastic television, he says, and he watches it in bed. And what he likes particularly about the show on his very large television as he watches the Vobe in bed is he's got curtains. He's got electric curtains. And what he loves to see is those electric curtains slowly close around me and go like that. So it takes me off his vision. And then he can have some peace and quiet as he sips his Merlot red wine. He's a big fan of Merlot red wine, apparently. Mike Allen Alan has joined. Hello, Mike. How are you? He is the London magician, ladies and gentlemen. He can pull a rabbit out of a hat. Now, sometimes I feel I'm pulling a rabbit out of the hat when I do this show and I come and put everything on and I think, golly, I've got no material tonight. What the hell am I going to talk about? And suddenly, you know, I managed to do it. But he pulls real rabbits out of hats, has rubber chickens, and he has his magic wand, of course. Wada! Alakazam! And if you want to be baffled, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see a very tall, very handsome and debonair magician on the street doing street magic, it's probably Mike Allen, a very, very clever man. Years and years ago, we used to work with the Europa clowns, and I remember a particular time when he had set up this wonderful marquee. And he had his big truck next door and it said Europa Clowns. And he said, Richard, could you drum up some trade for us, get some people in to see my wonderful show? And I said, of course, of course. So my mate Nigel and I stood outside and we were going, ropey old clowns, come and see the ropey old clowns. And Mike came out and he said, what are you doing? I said, well, we're just telling them to come and see the ropey old clowns. He said, no, it's not ropey old clowns. They're Europa clowns, Europa. As in Europe, you know, that sort of thing. Anyway, we thought it was funny. Mike, of course, never employed us ever again, and hence I've been down at the slag heap. But there we are. Anyway, lovely to see you, Mike. Thank you for coming along. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. You could do a magic spell and bring me some more viewers would be absolutely fantastic. Anyway, there we go. Alan Pillington says, here's one that Richard's been up to today. Not quite sure what he's talking about. Jane Ainsley says, I know he likes grass, but I didn't know he smoked it. Yes, thanks very much, Jane. Mark even, Selwood, says, yes, cheese for Jennifer. Anyway, they're all talking amongst themselves. Goodness knows what they're on about. Asparagus, I think Andy Ash is on about, but never mind. Anyway, now, when I saw Sharon and Simon, we were going out, and Sharon had this thing. She put it away after some time. I think she gave it back to Simon, but let's not go there. She had this thing about shirts. And even Simon got on her side. I thought, hello, you've been a long-time listener to me. What are you doing on her side? He said, I've been married to her for 38 years, mate. Oh, right, fair dues. So the thing is, shirts, right? Shirts tucked in or tucked out, or rather left out. What is the verdict? And whenever I went to school as a young kid, you see, I always tucked my shirt in. My mother would go, Richard, tuck your shirt in. You'll be smart if you're going to school, my boy. You'll be smart. Actually, she did it more like this. Richard, are you being a good boy and get your shirt tucked in? She was a bit of an alcoholic, my mother. She's still alive, and she's still an alcoholic, but let's not dwell on that. You'd go to school. So I always felt that you should have your shirt tucked in. And if you're going to the office, you see people and they have their shirt tucked in. But what should you do? Should you have it tucked out or in? People are shouting at me. Alan Piddington, out! Kevin Hall, out! Andy Ash, out! But surely, does that not look slovenly to you? Having your shirt on the outside, isn't that slovenly? And so Sharon and Simon said, you should do a poll. I said, what do you mean do a poll? You should do a poll. I used to balance polls and things on my chin. They didn't like it. They used to get down and say, come on, let's get on with the plumbing. Oh, cliche joke there. Yes, I saw what you did there. That's upset a few, but never mind. Eventually, something to do with asparagus. They're talking about that. Don't wear shirts is Mark English's idea. He wears T-shirts. So what do you do with a T-shirt? Do you leave a T-shirt? It's still a shirt, isn't it? Or do you just wear the T? I'm Mr. T. I just wear a big T and I leave it flopping. So today I did an experiment because normally, ladies and gentlemen, I would have myself tucked in. I would normally go in tucked in. But today I decided I would go tucked out or just leave it out. So here we are, look. I don't know if you can see this. Move my chair out the way. I'm tucked out at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. I just need to move my camera so you can see. I'm tucked out like that. There we go. Look at that. Marvellous. I pulled my stomach in so nothing's flabbing about. But ordinarily, that feels much smarter. Hello. Feels much smarter and more comfortable. I think my flies were up, weren't they? Oh, yeah. It feels comfortable because everything's all tucked in and nicely put away, which is where it should be. And also, I've got a nice belt, and I want people to see that belt. I paid good money for that belt. Well, actually, Harriet gave me that belt many years ago when we were an item. Should just say I'm not an item anymore. I'm a free single man, ladies and gentlemen, free and single. So I thought I will have my belt, I will have my shirt untucked, and see if all the women will throw themselves down the old Vobie one-eyed Kenobi, because obviously that's the thing that we need. Will they throw me? Let's have a look. Let's see what you're saying. Very smart, Richard. Out. It doesn't feel smart. It just feels sort of lazy. Kevin said that. Matter of fact, Vobes and I walked 6.77 miles. Yeah, so we're all nice and fit. Out is better, says Judith Oakley. Tucked out for that outfit, says Mark Selwood. Christopher Cox has just joined, which is great. He's in the market. He's in the market. He's in the market. He's in the market. Yeah, I agree. Shirts in, not out, says Jeff Stevens. There we go. Ready for action. Don't show us, the shirt. Yes, thanks. That's all you were going to get was this shirt. Thank you. Richard, it's cool to have it out, says... Yes, I'm sure it is. To have it out. Stuart Hill has joined. Hello, Stuart. Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming along this evening. So, well, it seems most people want me to have my shirt tucked out. I may be lazy, but I like my shirt out, says Richard Suggett. So there we are. Everybody else seems to be right. My mother has got it wrong. I shall blame her again. It's another thing to put at my mother's door. Have your shirt out! So it is tucked in. I just feel more comfortable with it tucked in, but clearly I look a complete and utter prune. So I'm not going to get the girls throwing themselves at me with my shirt tucked out, so we'll see how it goes. That belt speaked to me in Latin. Did it? In Latin? Gosh, well, there we are. Corin says, tucked in. Hello, Corin. Are you back from Spain, or are you still out in Spain? That'd be interesting. In, out, shake it all about, says Simon Brown. Doesn't really matter. So my sister, who's of the same age and went to school, she probably had her shirt tucked in as well. Did your mum make you wear vest when you were young? Yes. Well, of course I wore a vest. I still wear a vest. I haven't got a vest on today, ladies and gentlemen. It's too hot today. But ordinarily I'd wear a T-shirt or a vest. Why not? Now you need to work on your socks, says Sharon. Oh, thanks. What do you mean work on? You see, the problem is, here's the thing. You're all fashion victims. You're all sheep. You're just going along with what everybody else says. You've got to be individual in this world. Individualism. That's what we need. We need more people of independent thought. Instead of just going, well, everybody else says it's got to be out. Everybody else has got to have these type of socks. You're just buying into the brand, ladies and gentlemen. You're buying into that. And the market. The market is selling you these ideas. Be individuals. Be your own self. Buy your clothes from the second-hand shops instead of the brand-new shops all the time. Mix and match. Do your own thing. It's it's like being alive. Don't worry if people judge you. Martin Snow says, out if one has a big fat stomach. Oh, yes, I suppose that's true. If you've got a big stomach, it hides it. But if you're svelte, like me, if you're butch and svelte, like I am, of all the svelte I've ever svelte, I've never svelte a piece of svelte that svelte like that svelte. Thank you. Back from Spain, and Mum was right. Tuck it in. Get down with the youth. I don't know why get down with the youth. Why disguise your age when you can live? I mean, I'm in my mid-50s now, and I'm very proud to be in my mid-50s. Thank you very much. I'm still alive, and I'm fit. When you look around, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. Now, this will offend a few people. I realise that. I'm going to offend a few people. But, do you know what? It's my right to be offensive, and it's your right to be offended. But that doesn't mean to say that we have to be enemies, does it? I think free speech and all the rest of it. Anyway, let's not get into that, because that's a political hot potato at the moment. But we're all entitled to say what we should be all entitled to say what we like, even on the internet. We should be. I'm not trying to incite hatred. But I had a look, ladies and gentlemen, because now I'm a single man, I'm a free single man. I had a look at one of these dating sites just for an interesting, moment of hilarity. And I looked around at people at my age, and you're saying get down with the youth. And I looked at the women of my age, and most of them, it may be because they're desperate and they're on these dating sites, I don't know, but most of them seem to be what's a nice way of putting it? Chubby? A lot of... dumpy? No, I don't know how to... Oh, what should I say? A lot of them seem to be a bit overweight. And I thought... Why? Why are people letting themselves go when they get to a certain age? Why do they not have energy? Why do they not keep themselves fit? Why do they not try and lose a bit of weight instead of eating all the potatoes or the jam sponge? Oh, I'm digging myself. I know I'm doing that. I wear my shirt in accordance to everyone's wishes, says Mark. Oh, right. Fair enough. Mark says, offend away. Voluptuous. Well, that's one way of looking at it. It's true, voluptuous. Get those JCBs, Julia. Yes, he's digging a hole. Let's move on. Anyway, so most people say I've got to wear the shirt out. So that's interesting. OK, so today, ladies and gentlemen, let's bung some music on to cheer everybody up. What have we got over here? I don't know. Let's try this one. Yeah, there we are, a bit of fun. Anyway, if you are offended by any of my remarks, please write your name and address on the back of a £50 note and send it to me, and I will take on board all those things that I've said that were offensive and think about them for about at least 2 seconds and then post them into a funny little box. Meanwhile, I'll put the money in the bank. Thank you very much. No, we're all entitled to our opinions. It's just an opinion. It's not fact. Everybody can say whatever they like. So... Today I've been out filming with the lovely Mark with a Q, and we went to some interesting places. And one of the interesting things that happened today, of course, I think as a result of wearing my shirt on the outside, ladies and gentlemen, I was wearing my shirt on... Did I mention I was wearing... I was. Yes, one of the things that happened today was a car came to an abrupt stop, ladies and gentlemen. A car. And I was spotted. But I don't need to tell you that because I actually have a video. I have a video of the offence. So have a listen to this. I'm standing here with Mark English, and we're just doing some filming in Betchworth in Surrey.
In Surrey, yes.
For one of the old Vobes walks. Bold Explorer walks. And
something quite extraordinary happened.
I was going to say, yes, something remarkable. Here we are in this very quintessential English little village. What happened, Mark?
A gentleman got out of a car. I thought he'd be coming up to me, which would be standard, really.
Yeah.
But he was a big fan of the Bold Explorer.
What's the chances of that, eh?
I want to wake up smiling at us and want to come over and say hello. Amazing, a lovely guy. Lovely guy.
We were just filming just over there by that phone box, just starting our video, and we saw him, and he was sort of prowling about, taking pictures. I thought, that's a bit odd, isn't it? And then he said, oh, have you finished filming? And so I said, yeah, kind of. We went over, and he was so enthusiastic. And he said, I've got my brother into it, I've got my mates.
Amazing.
I want to send you a couple of £1,000 and give you the keys to my car. Did you? No, maybe not. But what a lovely man.
Yeah.
And of course, I won't be able to get back into my car. My head
was
his head swollen. But very nice. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm used to it, of course, but it's fine.
So, what are we doing today? Just to tell the lovely viewer.
We are at Betchworth in Surrey.
Yeah.
Lovely little village, very small village, but very historic. We have a look around the pub, the forge, some of the old buildings here, and then we'll have a look at St Michael's Church. So when the video comes out, ladies and gentlemen, do check it out and put a big thumbs up against it. That would be lovely. But in the meantime, I suppose we better get back to doing some work, hadn't we? Yes, we better, yes.
Yeah, because it's getting busy in that pub. And there's lots of jolly people. Anyway, from us in Surrey, back to the studio.
Back to the studio.
No, back to the studio, I said. Thank you. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That was our roving reporter, our vobing reporter, the old Vobes, with Mark English. Do check out Mark English's stuff. If you can't find it, just put Mark with a Q English into Google and a whole load of stuff will come flying at you and you'll be ducking under the table. Lovely bloke. Had a lovely day today with Mark. It was really good. Now, something that came in the post, ladies and gentlemen, something that came in the post today was one of these. Yes, a postcard. This was addressed not only to me, but actually to the group. It's from the lovely Elaine Brazier, who says on the 3rd of May 2018, greetings from lovely Kernan, which I believe is in Cornwall. So, Mark Selwood, you could tell me whether this is in your county. It says, to all the Bald Explorer group, and Richard, of course, from Elaine Brazier. So there we go. Look at that. That is a lovely postcard that came today, which I'll just hold that a bit closer. There we go. Look at that. We've got puffins, it looks like. We've got seagulls. We've got other birds. And there's some rain. Not rain. What are those funny things? Anyway, they're there, whatever they are. So it was lovely to get a postcard. Now, I thought, wouldn't that be great to put on the wall? We'll bung it on the wall somewhere. If anybody else would care to send a postcard, if you're going away or you go on holiday and you see a postcard, or you want to send a postcard to the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi, then I'll send you my address and you can send it in and we'll get them on the board. I thought it'd be quite nice, wherever you happen to be. If your town has a postcard. We once did this in the Vobes show many years ago. People were sent postcards in and we had this wall. We had loads of postcards. It was really good. People got behind it and they celebrated the idea. And so I'll get a cork board and we'll start bunging up the postcards from your neck of the woods. So if you want to send me a postcard, first class, I don't know what a first class stamp costs. You can do it for second class, of course. Or if you've got a pigeon, a tame pigeon, you can, of course, send him by pigeon class, which would be very nice. So there we are. Yeah, it's Cornish for Cornwall. Oh, is it? What? No, it can't be. It's Kernon. Lovely Kernon. So I don't know where Kernon is, but go and check it out. I can't see where it is, says Mark Selwood. Definitely by the coast. Well, it's somewhere by the coast that has a lot of birds. In fact, too many birds, actually. I would be a bit worried about painting your house any other colour than white and grey. With all those birds about, because you're going to get it sort of speckled. Should we call it speckled? I think we'll call it speckled. It would be a speckled house over there. So there we go. So Malcolm Glacier says that's a great idea. Where do we send them, Richard? Well, I don't want to give my address out over the public air because who knows who will turn out. But if you're interested in sending a postcard, I haven't got a PO box or anything. So I will give you email me, say, where do I send my postcard to? And I'll email you the address. That's probably the easiest. At the moment, because it's spare of the moment thing, if that's all right. I'm sending mine via albatross across the sea. That would be fantastic. And if I see an albatross flying across, I shall be very excited to know that is from Jennifer. So there we go. Marvellous. So now, here's a question, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to say to Kevin Hall, thank you very much for sending the WeTransfer videos and stuff, and I'm sorry I didn't see it when you sent it. Apologies for that. He knows I've now got them, but they're out of sequence, and I need to put them together to make them into something so that we can play them in the show, which I will do, which is good. But now, what's happening is, now this is a sort of, I don't know, I just want to put this out there and see what you think. People are making their Vobing reporting, which is great, and they're uploading them and putting them into the group, which is fantastic, but then they're also sending them to me, and I don't know now whether to play them in the show, because you've probably already seen them if they're in the group. And I was wondering what I should do. Should I ask you to send them to me first so I can highlight a bit of them on the show and then you upload them to the group? Or should you just be free to upload them in the group? Which I've kind of formed the idea that the second is a better idea, that you can obviously just upload them whenever you want and people can watch them on their own merit. And so my question is, do you still want me to play them in to the live show? Because you may have already seen them. So I'm not quite sure what to do, but maybe you could give me a hint at what you think about that. So I'm not going to play that couple. I've got one from Maggie and one from Mark, but I've got a bit late in getting to them. And you've probably seen them. They've been in the group now, a few, and people have already commented. And so I'm not quite sure what to do on that front. So a little bit of advice. I always like to ask the audience. Ask the audience what they think I should do is usually the best idea. So that's what I'm doing with that. So I filmed out with Mark, and I was going to tell you a bit more about that, but I won't for the moment. What else was I going to do? Let's go into the group. Let's go into the group and see what you guys have been doing whilst you work out whether I should be playing videos in. I like the group business where we look at your photos and stuff, because that's because it sort of does give a highlight to those people who haven't been in the group to see what there is. As I say, there's 631 of you, so it's absolutely fantastic. So going into the gallery today, let's see who is kicking it off. And let me tell you, that's a very lovely building, isn't it? That's Stuart Hall. Thank you, Stuart, for posting your pictures of Doddington Hall and Gardens, which I gather is up north somewhere. Very nice and interesting sort of, almost sort of modern design. And it's got those funny-looking round domed things at the top. Is there an observatory at the top there? I don't know. I have no idea, but it looks and sounds interesting. Steve Pilfold has been into the Bluebell Woods near Arlington, and they do look very nice. We've probably got limited time on the bluebells now, I would think, because they don't seem to last very long, do they? But they're very nice. Thank you, Steve. This is Sharon Brown, and they've been out on the coastal path in, I think it was in Norfolk as opposed to Suffolk, one of the two, up on the east coast there, which is very nice. The tide is sort of drifting in and out. It's a very interesting bit of coastline. I have been up there, and many, many years ago now, when with the old Vobes One-Eyed Kenobi podcast. Very interesting. Lovely bit of scenery up there. I hope you enjoyed it on the coastal path. That was very nice. Meanwhile, back home, nearer home, here to me anyway, in Pulborough, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Suggett has been out in Pulborough. And he's got a lovely selection. I guess that's Pulborough Church. Is it St Mary's or someone? But he has some pictures of Pulborough Castle as it is now, the Motte, and what's happened to the Motte. I did do a video there some time ago. I'd like to get back there and do another one. That's on my cards to go and do. In the meanwhile, Mark Selwood has been out photographing dolphins. It's amazing how you managed to get that dolphin in that position. I think it is remarkable. And this is at a place called Marizon Beach, which is very nice. So you can see that lovely, I don't know what the island is. Is that the Isle of Marizon or something? It's very nice anyway. Do check out, it's got some lovely pictures there. And this one is Maggie Walters at Croft Castle in Leominster. Lovely looking castle, that one. Of course, not a proper castle, but a big manor house of some description. A lot of windows to clean there, and love the lichen. I'm loving the lichen, the lovely yellow lichen on the side. Now here is an interesting one. This is Glenn Johnson at Tilgate Park near Crawley. He's very desperate to get me to go up to Crawley and have a look. Well, it so happens, Glenn, I'm up there tomorrow. I am up there with Liz Berry and the Walkers. No, that's not a band. Liz Berry is a fitness instructor, I think, of some description, and she is taking a whole bunch of walkers around Tilgate. They do this quite regularly, and she's asked me to come along, join them, and make a video. So I shall be there tomorrow, but it's tomorrow evening, so there will not be a show. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's carry on. This is not Hardham Castle, this is Hardham Church. And this has been put up by now, I don't know if I've got your name pronounced correctly, but Desna Tissot, is it? Desna Tissot? And it's a very lovely church. It's a sort of chocolate pop box church because it's got the render on it. It's very nice. Dave Baker, in the meanwhile, Dave Baker has been out to Counters Gate, which according to that is near Goodwood, on the Goodwood Country Park. But that was the only picture I could find that he'd placed up there, but not to worry. Otherwise, we've got the lovely Claire Leach at Anwell Gardens in Hove. She says she was relaxing in the sun. And who can blame her? It's a lovely day to relax. And there has been spotted one of the Bald Explorer group members. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, watch out for this Terry Pratchett lookalike. He's been out and about with a very peculiar hat. Or are they hats? Who knows? But if you see him, please put him in a straitjacket immediately, for he does not know what he does. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely mind-numbing. So I hope you enjoyed that little trip into the group. Always good to go into the group and see what other people are up to and where their pictures are. Corinne Lindsay says they're lovely photos, and they are, and there's more of them. Mark Selwood says you can have mine and Andy. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, fitness instructor. Yes, so there we go. Marvellous. Okay, I was just scanning the the Alan Piddington says the island is at St Michael's Mount. I'm sure he does, probably quite often, knowing the reputation that he's got. So there we go. Now, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for another film tip. Every now and again, I like to bung in a filming tip. If you're one of those vobing reporters who enjoys going out there and doing these videos that I mentioned, I go out, and thanks for the emojis, by the way, I go out and do these, give you these tips so that when you go out and do the filming, you can improve your filming skills. Now, we've talked about many things, but here is an idea and a suggestion for you. You know, when you're out and you're using your camera or your telephone or whatever you use. Telephone, there's an old term. Your mobile telephone, your phone, your smartphone. It depends. Mine's a bit dented now. It's not so smart. Actually, I should tell my phone to tuck its shirt in because it likes to wear its shirt tucked out. I want it to be smart and see its little belt round the middle. And I'd like to see a waist on my phone. It's a bit sort of, very uninspiring in terms of figure. But anyway, that's not what I was getting on to. What I was getting on to, ladies and gentlemen, is that when you're out there filming, and you're filming lots of scenery and stuff and yourself, what the professionals often do, and you'll see that I occasionally do it too. I do try to put some quality into the shows that I do and the walking videos. Sometimes what I do is what we call cutaways. Cutaways. That is where you've got the main action going on over there, for example, and you cut away to something else. So you're filming over here and you cut away. So, for example, if you were filming, I don't know, some sort of craft show, some craft show is going on, there's somebody turning a piece of wood on a lathe, for example, and you'd be filming him. A cutaway is when you cut away from that action and you cut perhaps to the audience who are watching, and you cut to their smiles and going, oh, that's nice, isn't it? Then you cut back to the action again, and then a little bit later you cut away from it to perhaps another member of the audience who's fallen asleep or is eating something or picking his nose or chatting up the woman next to him who shouldn't be talking to in the first place. Whatever it is that you cut to people who are related. It has to be related. You're not cutting away to some other football match on the other side of the planet. No, you're cutting away to something relevant that helps tell the story. I'll talk about narrative and telling a story in your videos a little bit later on another show. So this is called cutaways. But another good thing is a cutaway doesn't always have to be cutting away from the action, but you can cut in. So you cut away or you cut in. And a cut in is where you go closer on one part. So if you've got this bloke on a nice wide shot and he's using his wooden lathe and he's treadling it with his foot and he's getting this thing to, at this craft fair. I'm just dressing up the picture now. He's at this lovely craft fair and people are gathered around and he's making a spindle for a chair or something. I don't know, some old nonsense, some pagan nonsense that people love. And they're doing all their stuff down there. So you've cut away to somebody going, oh, Barry, isn't that interesting? Yeah, it's quite interesting. You cut back to the action, but you could cut in. And cutting in is where you get closer. So you might have a close-up of the spindle and the lathe cutting it. So a big close-up of it. And then you might cut back to your wide. So what I'm saying is, when you do your shots, vary them. It keeps interest. It generates a lot more interest. If you can put more people into them, it will generate even more interest. Getting people's reactions to things. So when you're out walking, very often you'll say, I will look at something. So I'm walking along and I'll say, look at the spire of a church. I'll look up at the spire of the church. That cries out for a cut-in. Because when I'm looking at something, you can see me looking at something. If it's not in shot, you want to cut into it. You want to, because people are going, what's he looking at? What's he looking at? And you almost demand, the audience, demand to see that thing. So it's looking up like that. The next thing would be, as I look, cut in to the shot of whatever it is, the spire of the church, for example. Then you can cut back and he can go, "Oh, that's a nice spire." Because people are curious animals. So if you look at something and you go, "There's a nice car," you want to see the car. So you'd cut into it. If you're perhaps, as I said before, you're watching something and the two of you are watching and you've shown that and you're laughing and there may be somebody else also laughing, you would cut away to that person laughing. It's about telling a story, not a whole story, but you're just telling a story of that little scene. So try and do that. Dave Solsona says, "But Richard, can't we fix that in post?" Well, of course you're fixing it in post. Not fixing it. If you don't have the shots, you can't fix anything. So you don't have to do it in sequence. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you've got your shots over here, you might want to get some shots of the crowd. But what tends to happen is people film something like this person over there doing his craft stuff. They do that with the camera the right way around, and they're filming that, and then they just sweep the camera around like this, and then they'll film a bit up here, and they'll film down here, and they'll film over here, and it's not really telling a story at all. Whereas if you film a whole bit of that, then you filmed a bit of them, and you filmed somebody looking up at the spire, and you filmed the spire, in the edit, you can then, as you say, fix it in post. In the edit, you can then cut from people, this bloke doing his turning, to people looking at him doing his turning, and one person going, "Oh, I'm not interested in that, but I'm interested in the spire," and he looks up and you cut to the thing. So it's a basic editing. So Mark says, "Cutaways are great. I try to insert them in my videos, often forget to insert them. Makes the videos more dynamic and interesting." Absolutely. Where you're stymied, if I can use that word, stymied, very nice word actually, is if you don't take them. So you've always got to take cutaways. Get the main action, then just get a few cutaways. And if you notice in my films, I don't have time now, because I'm churning them out so much, to go and get video cutaways. I often cut away on a still. You'll notice they're still pictures. I'll have the main bit of the walk and I'll be talking about, I don't know, this lamppost. Oh, it's a nice ornate lamppost. And what I have done is I film the walk, I come back, I take all these pictures. Oh yeah, I talked about that. There's a picture, there's a click. Talked about that lamppost, click. And then in the edit, I'll go, "Oh, that's a nice lamppost." And I put in the still shot, just the photograph of the lamppost. Ideally, I would want a moving shot of the lamppost, but I don't have time. Ideally, I'd have my camera on a tripod and I would, get a little bird landing on the thing, or have some rustling of the trees near it, so it's moving, if you see what I mean. So it's alive, the shot is alive. But I haven't got time to do it because I'm trying to get these videos done every day. So I've found a way of doing it, and it's sort of cheating, but it works. It still works by having cutaways, which may be still photographs. I often forget and don't remember to get the shots I wish I had. Yes, you see, if the whole secret of filmmaking really is, if you're a solo filmmaker, you're editing in your head. You're thinking, how does this shot cut to the next? All the time you're thinking, what do I need when I put this together? This shot has got to cut to something. What will it be? So your job as the filmmaker is to gather the shots, but you can't tell the story until you're in the edit box. This tip makes a lot of sense, says Richard Suggett. Might want to talk about jump cuts in the future, says, yes, jump cuts have their place, but they're also a pain in the neck, and they can be very jarring. We'll talk about jump cuts another occasion, but thank you. And we're back. Apologies, you wouldn't have seen anything. We just were disconnected for a moment. It all makes sense. Notice cutaways in Richard's a lot. I like a still of a church. The thing is, it's how we look at things. We tend to look at the main action of something. We flick our eyes to see how people are responding to it. Or if somebody looks up, we tend to look at what they're looking at, and then we look back. It's what we do in real life, which is why people don't even know that it happens. I remember sitting one day talking to Harriet about a video that was on, and I said, "Oh, look at the way they keep cutting to this and cutting to that." And she said, "I don't understand. What do you mean?" She couldn't even see that the camera had filmed this, had then stopped and filmed that, and had come back. She just thought it was all one fluid, as if the camera had panned there and panned back. Because it's all very subconscious, but you've got to think about that. Has the meter run out? Yes, the meter had to put another 50p in. There we go. Graham Whittington says 50p, you know, these old terms. So anyway, we're back. Was that a trick cutaway? Yeah, just as I'm talking about cutaways. Thanks, Julia. Very clever. On the ball as ever. Exactly. So think about that when you go. It just makes it interesting. And the other thing is it gets you out of trouble. Very often I've filmed something. I'm with Julia or with Mark English or somebody, and I've been filming them, and something's happened behind them that's awkward and distracting. And if we're talking about something over there, you know, perhaps, you know, one of them trips, or I trip, or a car comes in front of us, or the camera wobbles horribly, or something like that. As long as the sound is okay, you could put a cutaway over that bit of film. So we're walking along with the camera looking at us, walk, walk, walk. Julia's here. She trips over, falls flat on her face, and gets up and goes, "Oh, sorry about that." I said, "Don't panic." We carry on filming. Now that footage then is slightly ruined. I shouldn't have tripped her over in the first place. However, you can save that, because as we're walking along, you can cut to perhaps where we're going, and it hides the mistake, if you see what I mean. So all that business of falling over and I'm exaggerating greatly, but you'll see what I mean. Sometimes you just, you know, sometimes I'm with somebody, they give me a look that sort of goes, "I don't know what you're saying," or something, or they scratch their nose, or they pick their ears, or I don't know what it, you know. Sometimes you just have a reason you don't want to see that, and you have a cutaway to cover it, and nobody knows. Or you have an awkward moment where you're talking and you go, "What date was this building built, Mark?" And Mark goes, "Oh, it was in 18... Oh, wait a minute, I don't know. It was 1837. Oh, right, okay. So you don't want that bit in, so you can chop that bit out, but if you chop that out and carry on, there's a jump cut and it looks unnatural. So you have a cutaway to cut to something else and you come back. I need to do a proper video on this and with demonstrations and things, but I just thought I'd shove that in because now I'm just talking you. So what shall we talk about? Oh, okay. Your comments are 1x my end. Only seeing it once here. Once. I don't. What's the matter? Anyway, lovely day. Hope it lasts. Have you lost the show? Is it still coming out? I don't know. I've no idea now. I've no idea if I'm on or out. But anyway. That's what fixing it in post is about. Yes, Dave. And I'm still waiting for your wonderful film. You keep telling me you're a marvellous editor. I'm waiting for your video you said you were going to make some time ago. But yes, it's fixing it in post. It isn't fixing it. It's not really fixing it in post. It is part of. It's part of the editing process. You're not, because that in fixing it sort of implies that it's. You just got to take cutaways. Just do as I say and don't question it. That's the answer. That's how, you know, that's... Do as I say. Do as I say and not what I do. Because the next video I'll put up probably have loads of glaring errors in it. But there we are. Anyway, it's just there as a guide. It's just there as a guide. Now, there's no show tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. No show at all, because I shall be filming at Tilgate Park with these walkers at about 6:30 to 7, and I won't get back in time to do the show. So you've got the evening off. It's very nice of you to join me, but you'll have the evening off from now on. Tomorrow, at least tomorrow, but I'll be back on Wednesday, so fear not. Thought I'd mention that. Also, on my list of things is, this week is the Glastonbury week of videos. So the Glastonbury videos are going out, and I want to say a big thank you to all those lovely people who sponsored us. And you'll notice that I'm putting their names in the description rather than in the video, because I know it's sod's law that if I put them in the video, I'll miss somebody off or I'll get a spelling wrong. And as it happens, I've already missed Anne Osborne off, and I didn't mean to do that, but it just happened. So I'm putting the names because I can always go back and put them in the description. It's easier to do that than actually put them in the video. But what I'm saying is also it's a big thank you, and both Julia and I appreciate the fact that you helped us to go there. The weather wasn't brilliant, so we didn't do as much as we wanted to do. But what we have got will be going out this week, and there will be an extra video that goes out to the patrons only and those supporters who helped us. But most of it will go out to everybody. We've put out 2 podcasts only to the patrons, which were sort of behind the scenes whilst we were filming, and our opinion on this, and a visit to the Chalice Well. That only went out to the patrons and the people who supported us, so you should have got that if you did. But the videos will be going out this week, and we started this one on our journey at is it Tisbury? I can't remember now. Tilbury or Tisbury? I've forgotten the name of the place. So that was that. Let's see what you're saying. Massive thanks to the Glastonbury sponsors, says Julia. Absolutely right. Linda Kane says, looks like hairspray. Hi all, by the way, better late than never. Thank you very much. Not quite sure what your hairspray reference is. Mark Sewer says, thanks for the mention on your video description, Richard. So glad to help with the trip. We really did appreciate. I mean, I'd like to do more, but I'm nervous about asking for extra cash because you're all very good supporters, and we love you dearly. We love you dearly. But I don't want to keep asking for money to get us further afield. We've had some nice donations, actually, so big thanks to those people who've been donating. It really does help put the petrol in the car to go further afield. So, that's really good. But I want to go... There's a number of places I want to take you through the videos, up in the Peak District and further afield, and that sort of thing. But... I don't want to keep asking you for cash, because I want to be able to prove that we can do this. The other thing I need to say is I know I've talked about merchandise and people have been talking about these T-shirts and we've got these designs, and I know I haven't had a chance to get to it. I've been rather busy, as you know, going to Glastonbury and then up to Cambridge. I will get on the T-shirt thing and get some T-shirts and make them available for people to buy. It will happen. It's just everything's taking a little bit of time, and I hope that's okay. And the other thing is I need to talk to Ed. I don't know if Ed Warren happens to be out there watching, but we did talk about coming and doing a live show, ladies and gentlemen, a live show from Ed Warren's garden. And now I've noticed that it is light enough to go out and do it. And if the light fades a bit, we've still got a couple of lights to get us through the evening. I want to try and take the show. We've proved that we can go to Cambridgeshire, which was delightful, and we can have guests on the show and new presenters, and everybody's happy and all jolly and it's all exciting. So I want to do more of that. And if you think that the show could come to your garden, at your place, if you've got what we just need is some internet. If not, I've got the EE3, the 4G. I don't know why I'm looking up there. It's not up there, actually. So it would be great to bring the show and have, some more guests and all that. I'm desperate to get it out from here. It's nice to come back, but look, I'm on my own. The lovely Julia is travelling. Hope to get the lovely Julia in this week if she's available. I haven't asked her, actually, but I'm asking her now. So that we can have some more fun. And so it's not just me presenting the show, because I think it's just a bit boring when it's just the baldy, one-eyed explorer-y. So there we go. So that's good. Yes, Richard S. Oh, that sounds like a plan, Richard. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe spray paint, graffiti. I asked the same question at the start of the show about the corrector can. I don't know what you're... Oh! That's got you worried, isn't it? That's got you worried. What was that all about? You may have to freeze the frame to get a big close-up. What's this business with asparagus? Everybody's talking about asparagus. Why are you talking about asparagus? Is it asparagus season? Should we be cooking some asparagus? By the way, Wednesday, if I've got it right, Richard Suggett is here and we're going to be cooking. Am I right, Richard? You're still coming on Wednesday? That will be awesome. If you're coming on Wednesday, I will make sure we've got the gas ring on and we're going to do something. I can't remember what we said, but we've got Richard coming in. That's great. Want more guests in the show as well. More guests in the show. I don't want to just be doing it on my own. It's much more fun when there's other people. We can share the presenting and all of that because, you know, one runs out of puff after a while. So there we are. Kevin Hall's got it. Yes, you're right, Kevin Hall. That's what it is. Harriet lent it to me, gave it to me when little Lola was staying and she was very young. I don't know. I've never used it. I don't even know what it does. There we go. I've not. It's just compressed air. Oh. It was smelly air as well. I think it's just as a thing to tell your pet not to do it. Stops barking, chasing, stealing and jumping up. She gave it to me when she thought that I never used it. Never used it. Anyway, watch that corner. There's always something different on that corner. I don't know why, but there it is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of it for tonight. Thank you so much for coming along and enjoying the show. I hope the filming thing was easy. Don't forget to send your postcards out. Thanks again for the Glastonbury stuff. The merchandise we'll sort out. Ed Warren, we need to talk to you about coming to your garden. We want to take the show on the road, so if you've got somewhere, do let us know. In and out with the shirts. We've covered that. Had a lovely day with Mark. Thank you, Mark. It's very nice. So all in all, no show tomorrow, by the way. I do apologise that there's no show. Unless, of course, Julia wants to come in and do the show on her own. You're very welcome. I'll leave the keys in the latch and she can turn the show on and what have you. I shall be away at Tilgate walking with these walkers. So that's what I'm up to. But anyway, thank you so much. When you hear this music, ladies and gentlemen, you know it's time for the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi to go and rest his weary head. And I will be back on Wednesday with the lovely Richard Suggett. At least I hope we're back on Wednesday with Richard Suggett. I haven't seen his name pop up, but there we are. So take care, one and all. Thank you so much. Thank you. I've just seen Kevin saying he's emailed me. I will look for the email. No panic. So until the next time, thanks for watching. Take care, one and all. From the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi here in jolly old Worthing. Goodbye for now. Goodbye.